Welcome back, family, to NorthsideLDN, and today we have some great news. Great news. Arsenal star intends to leave Gunners, wanted by his former club. That's Fabio Viera being wanted by Porto, his former club, the club that we bought him for. I already said it. I remember when we bought Fabio Viera, I told these Finnish Puta that he's not good enough. I told these man that he's not as great as they think he is. And it looks like he's wanted back by Porto. That is his level. The Portuguese league is his level. He is not impressed at his time at Arsenal. And now it's great news that Porto want to come and buy him. So you know what, Finnish Puta, come and get your guy. I am so happy to wake up and hear this news. Come and get Fabio Vieira. He's been absolutely rubbish since he's been here. Uma desgraça. I don't care. Let him go back to Porto, where he had some sort of form. It seemed like it was the level that he was comfortable at. And it looks like Porto are now interested in talking to Arsenal to get the player back to Porto, back to Portugal. Let's go into the article. Arsenal midfielder Fabio Vieira intends to leave the club in search of more playing time, according to the Portuguese publication A Bola. The 24-year-old was a surprise signing from Porto in 2022, but has yet to establish himself under manager Mikel Arteta. Vieira showed plenty of promise at the start of 22-23 season, but he played just 560 minutes in all competitions. The attacking midfielder reportedly wants a new challenge, and he intends to leave the club during the transfer window. Well, a new challenge wouldn't be going back to Porto. I mean, wouldn't say it's a new challenge, but it is what it is. Porto are interested in re-signing him as a replacement for Francisco Conceição, who has been linked with Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund. Another player that I've been saying we should go out there and get. Why are we not going to go out and get Francisco Conceição? That is a player that we should be getting. Yeah, we get the bum, Fabio Vieira, and now Borussia Dortmund or Bayern Munich get the actual good Porto player, which is Francisco Conceição, who could actually offer competition to Saka on that right-hand side. Typical Arsenal, typical Bucaria Arsenal, always going for these bummy players while the proper player stays at the club. You know what I mean? It's a joke. But anyway, they want him back anyway. Porto want him back to replace Fabio Conceição, who's linked to Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund. However, the Primera Liga outfit can only afford a temporary deal. Arsenal will have to contribute part of his 45,000 a week wages. Nah. We need to just get rid. We don't need to be paying half of his wages and all that. We need to just get rid. The Gunners prefer a permanent deal and are aiming to recoup the entire 30 mil fee paid to Porto for a summer transfer fee. Listen, we just need to get our money back, man. We need to get our money back, or as close as, and just cash in on Fabio Vieira. This guy's been absolutely trash. And once again, another player that we're trying to recoup our money on because we didn't recruit properly. Trying to recoup back the money that we spent on Fabio Vieira, the money that we spent on Lokonga, the money that we spent on Nuno Tavares. This is what I'm saying. When all these Phillies that want to tell me about, but these players, it's part of the stepping stone. We need these players. Now we're struggling to get our money back for these players and hitting FFP. Well, apparently we hit FFP last transfer window. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. Yeah, all these kind of players, buying these bums, all it does is set you back. Because now we've got players that we were struggling to get rid of. That's all it does. But let's continue. Arsenal should part ways with Viera. Viera has failed to adapt to the demands of the Premier League. He's shown glimpses of his quality, but he lacks the consistency to impress the manager. The Athletic revealed that his poor performance is in training were the reason behind his omission in the starting 11. His situation looks unlikely to change. With the strong competition for places at Arsenal, he will not displace captain Martin Odegaard for the number 10 role. Viera can only be a backup for Bukayo Saka on the right wing. There's a huge competition in central midfield after the signings of Declan Rice and Kai Havertz. The midfielder may have to move for more regular minutes. Arsenal could be open to discussing his return to Porto on loan if they propose an option to buy him next summer. We just need to get rid, man. Like, this is what I'm saying. We struggle to get rid of these players. This is why I don't like when Arsenal buy these bums, buy these players that are not good enough, buy these players that they have not done their homework in, because he's not even highly sought after in Portugal. I'll be real. He's a bench player at best. When he's at Porto, he was a bench player. Why did we think that a Porto bench player is going to be good enough for Arsenal? It just doesn't make any sense. But this club doesn't do its homework. This club just goes with the flow. Whatever sounds great, whatever sounds like it's penny pinching, because the fan base accept it. And now we're struggling to offload him. And we've had this problem for how long? We struggled to offload Holding in the past. We struggled to offload Pepe. We struggled to offload Lacazette. There's so many players that we've got that weren't good enough, that we didn't do our homework properly on, and then we struggled to offload them. This is why when you buy, you need to buy properly. You buy cheap, you buy twice. And this is the pucaria. Buying it, bought him for 30 mil, and now we're struggling to offload him. It's an absolute joke. But listen, I'm happy that the fact that Fabio Viera's being linked away. We could see it anyway. Arteta doesn't really rate him. I don't know which one of them scouted him, if it was Edu, if it was Arteta. But the player ain't good enough, and we need to improve in that, because every single time now we need that last couple of pieces of the puzzle, those world-class players to get us over the line to become champions of Europe or champions of England. We always hit the stumbling block of we need to offload players. And this is the same problem that we had when Arteta first came into the club. Too many players on high wages. You know what I mean? Like, this player's, bro, if we were loaning him back to Porto, we're going to have to pay half of his wages. Like, nah, that's a joke. Like, why is this guy on 85 or whatever, you know what I mean, £1,000 a month, a week? Like, what's going on, man? It's a joke. Like, he was never worth 80k a week. And this is the problem. This is the problem. It's all good buying players for cheap, but then you put them on stupid wages that they're not worth, and then it's hard to shift them and get rid of them. It's hard to get rid of them, because either we can't get the money back that we paid for him, or teams don't want to put them on the wages that they've got, and the player's like, well, I'll just run down my contract, I'll run down my deal. If I can't get a club that matches my wages, I'm going to just sit on the contract. They don't care what's the best interest of the club. They care for themselves. You know what I mean? The same way clubs look out for themselves. It is what it is. It's just a vicious cycle, in my opinion, and it's a vicious cycle that's just not needed. It's just not needed. We need to improve in our player recruitment instead of getting these bums that are just not good enough. You know what I mean? It's a joke, man. There is quality in the Portuguese league, but he was never one of them. And if anyone actually did their homework, they would have realised that he's just not one of those guys. You know what I mean? But Conceição instead is going to Bayern Munich and Dortmund, while we got the flipping B-Tech Conceição here at Arsenal. It's a joke, man. It's a joke. I'm beyond fed up with our recruitment at times. It's really stupid. Like, I don't know. Since the days of David Dean and Wenger, our recruitment from abroad has been absolutely uma desgraça. That is what it's been. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Hopefully we get rid of him, and hopefully he goes. Let's go to the next headline. And it's about Douglas Luiz. Arsenal are being linked again, that we're monitoring Douglas Luiz. Let's get this up. Let's go. Arsenal transfer target, while Gunners are monitoring midfielder Maestro Luiz. The race for Douglas Luiz's signature is hotting up, and Arsenal could be set to move for Aston Villa's midfield star. Arteta's outfit have a long-standing interest in the Brazilian, having attempted to buy him for 25 million back in 2022. But they will face stiff competition to secure his signature this summer, with Serie A giants AC Milan, Juventus reportedly circling the 26-year-old. As the battle for Luiz intensifies, we assess why he's on Arsenal's radar. Listen, this is a player that I would take. I like Douglas Luiz. Is he my first choice? Nah. He's not my first choice, but he's definitely a very good midfielder. We still don't know exactly what is going to happen with Thomas Partey, if we're going to get rid of him or not. Still not 100% on that. But he's definitely a player that I rate. We definitely need strengthening in the midfield, especially if Partey goes. But even if Partey stays, I still think that we need better. I still think that we need to strengthen our midfield. We need a number 10, we need a 6, and we need an 8. So I would take Douglas Luiz. I just think that player, somebody like Bruno Guimaraes offers us a little bit more. I think Douglas Luiz is a bit more similar of the mold of a DM like Paulinho, where he's not incredible at advancing the ball. He's not an incredible passer of the ball, but he'll definitely shield the back line. Whereas somebody like Bruno Guimaraes will offer us a little bit more. He's a lot more creative, more like Thomas Partey. So if we're adding him to the ranks, I get it. If he's looked at as the replacement for Thomas Partey, I don't think he can offer exactly what Partey offers. Creating opportunities from deep, long range passing, good vision. I don't think he offers that. He's more, shielding the back line. But I wouldn't be angry at Douglas Luiz. I think he's a very, very good player. Will Aston Villa sell to us? Would Unai Emery be down to sell to us? The former club, his former club, that didn't give him a chance. I think they're going to make it as hard as possible. I'd imagine they'll make it as hard as possible. But at the end of the day, you put the money down, you get the player. We may have to overpay if it comes, if we go for Douglas Luiz. He's not my number one choice. A bit like Solanke when I was talking about Solanke earlier on. Not my number one choice, but isn't a player I'd be angry at if Arsenal got. If Arsenal got Solanke as our striker, I wouldn't be angry at it. But I do think there's better options. Douglas Luiz as well. I wouldn't be angry at it, but there's other players that I'd put ahead of Douglas Luiz. Primarily Bruno Guimaraes. So there's better options out there, but I do think he's a very good player. Obviously, a lot of teams are looking at the 26-year-old hitting his prime over there at Aston Villa. So we'll see. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Do you rate Douglas Luiz? Are you happy with the Fabio Viera news? What do you guys think about both of these stories? And without further ado, familia, I'm out. Love.